video, I'm going to give you 9 facts that I've learned from reading these 2 papers about a behavior that people with autism call masking. Number 1, a definition. Masking is about hiding an aspect of your identity in order to avoid some sort of social harm or discrimination. Number 2, masking is almost always about being a stigmatized person, being a person who bears some stigmatized identity and wanting to avoid that stigma, which can be a felt stigma or enacted stigma in terms of discrimination. So you mask in order to appear as normal. So masking is a response to stigma. Number 3, masking is not new, and masking is not unique to people with autism or people who are neurodivergent. Masking is a very old concept. You can trace it at least to the 1950s in Erving Goffman's books, in a book called Stigma. Masking used to be called passing. So people who are black or African American would pass as white. People who were gay would pass as straight. This idea that we would disguise some stigmatized aspect of our identity in order to pass as normal is basically as old as humanity. Number 4, everyone masks. Neurotypical people mask. Neurodivergent people mask. This idea of masking or passing, again, can be traced a lot to the 20th century sociologist Erving Goffman. I will acknowledge, and I think it's easy to acknowledge, that for people with autism spectrum disorder or other kinds of neurodivergent, it's probably takes more effort and is more costly and is more extreme. Number 5, masking requires effort, can lead to burnout, exhaustion, and a loss of a sense of self or identity when you're constantly portraying something that you feel is not a true representation of your underlying identity. Number 6, research on masking is extremely limited. Number 7, you can only learn about masking directly from people who know that they're masking and acknowledge that they're masking. But of course, there could be people who are masking but don't realize it, don't acknowledge it, and we can't learn anything from them because they don't self-identify as masking and won't show up in the research. Number 8, it's not always clear just from observation who's masking and who's not, because there isn't one way of being an autistic person. There isn't one way that people with autism look or behave. And 9, being a person with autism or being neurodivergent is not the only aspect of our identity that people mask. People mask aspects of their gender identity, people mask aspects of their sexual identity, people mask aspects of their racial identity, people mask aspects of their past, and people mask aspects of their political identity. So any aspect of our identity that we think might discredit us if it were revealed is something that we might mask.